This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to find out more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a major shout out goes out to our boss level patrons, Christopher, Patrick, and Skylar.
Peterson, I have terrible news.
Oh no, what is it?
This week's podcast has been delayed.
Shoot. You know, that's pretty meta, though. A video game podcast getting delayed. You know, like a video game studio delaying a game.
Oh, if you like meta, you're going to love this. Even though the podcast is getting delayed, I'm still going to need you to work late tonight editing.
Wait, editing what?
Oh, nothing important. It's not going to be in the episode.
Okay, I see. We just need to do some crunch then?
Yeah, just like a video game studio.
Hey, this bit might be pretty funny, but do I get any lines here?
No, you're a girl.
But it's just like a
video game studio.
You just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And again, going last.
And Jenna's here
this
too.
is Jenna.
Jenna's here.
God dang it!
Oh, there's
Already getting me riled. It's just
I
the
know,
intro.
Just Jenna's getting PTSD from all this. I'm
This
so
is
sorry.
great. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week, as with all weeks, is brought to us by Crave Cookies. Crave Cookies is this awesome cookie shop wherever you want it to be. It might be there soon. But I'll tell you
I
where it
went
is
to
now.
I went to my third Crave location this week. So I've been to 3 of the 4 locations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bigger fan than you are.
Which one did you go to this week?
Draper.
Trent should make a cookie passport book.
Oh my
gosh.
God.
A cookie
Get your
passport.
cookie stamps.
Yeah,
Get
like
your
visiting
cookie
all of the
sprinkle.
locations.
Get all your different sprinkles filled in.
Like
and
the
every
different
sprinkle you
cookies at the different locations. You'd be like, shoot, I need a rock star at the South Jordan location.
Dude, that's what they need to do is bake like one special cookie every day. And if you come in with a certain stamp, you can buy that special cookie. Guys, none of this is real, but cravecookies.com is, and you can go there and check out Trent's lineup for this week. Unfortunately, we're recording this episode a little bit early, so I didn't have the foresight to ask Trent for his menu, but I can promise you it will be live when this episode airs at cravecookies.com. But I really hope you dinguses got in there last week and got that freaking cookie monster.
Dude, what a crazy cookie that one was.
You mean that cookie monster got you?
Nom, 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 nom. Bungie is apparently trying to sue the cheaters and scumbags out of their games.
Well,
Best of luck, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
when moderation and community moderation doesn't work, I guess you just turn to the lawyers and you say, figure it out.
the legal system. Get them, boys.
So this was a story that I saw in Axios. This was the Bungie's top lawyer was talking to Axios. And it was just highlighting the recent lawsuits, some of which we've covered on this podcast, including the Destiny 2. There were these the software that allowed you to cheat in Destiny 2. That the people who created that software being sued by Bungie. There was a player who impersonated Bungie to trigger like hundreds of copyright takedowns on YouTube against people. I think he was just trolling. Nope.
He's just messing with people.
Just fucking with people. He's getting sued.
Yeah.
And then that player who we talked about a couple weeks ago or whatever that we gave him a Blurstein nom for like threatening the studio and like the staff and shit.
So he was going to burn down the studio.
Yeah, like don't make sure to lock your doors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Suing that guy too. This is pretty funny because this is apparently they've been working on this strategy for a couple years since they're split with Activision. They hired McGowan. This is their top attorney, and he was the former top lawyer for Pokemon. So this guy knows how to sue people.
Oh, he's great at litigation.
They're like, they just bring in this like shark, and they're like, dude, we have this like problem. He goes, what problem? Well, we actually have a couple of problems. He's like, what problems? I got it. He's like, I'll just sue the fuck out of them. I'll sue their pants off. He's like, you're
no,
a big
it's
company.
just like this guy. He's
I'll sue him. Don't worry about it.
He's
nope,
sued.
I'll sue his ass off. I will sue him. So they bring this guy in, and then this is a quote from one of these like statements they released. Quote, serious consequences await anyone else foolish enough to this was in a lawsuit that they filed. Serious consequences await anyone else foolish enough to volunteer as a defendant by targeting Bungie's community for an attack.
Oof. Sue him. McGowan's licking his chops.
Mm-hmm.
He loves writing this type of stuff.
Dude, I love this because I feel like there are communities that are problematic, like League of Legends. Like everyone's kind of a troll and there's a lot of pieces of shit. But I think when you have giant problems like, I don't know, someone that's actually creating cheating software and selling it exclusively so like people can just like break your game, those are the easy ones.
Yeah,
those are the easy ones, and those are the ones that you can get rid of. And I think Destiny 2 has been plagued with that type of shit since its like inception. So it's cool that, I don't know, they're doing something, because I don't think anyone would defend any of these people that they're going after. Like none of these people are reputed. No, there's no like, oh, they're going after like that guy. Oh, that sucks. Maybe they will. Maybe someone innocent will get swept up in it. But this dude that was going, the copyright takedown guy, he was going after their community members and like making them look bad to their community members. So it all kind of makes sense. We'll see if other studios follow this trend, especially like going after the negative elements of your community with the law. They certainly have enough money to do it now. A quarter of the Ubisoft employees who signed an open letter to the company last year have left the company.
Sign the letter and go? Is that kind of what happened?
Sign the letter, hope over the last 12 months something changes, and then just trickle out because you realize that the writing's on the wall. This is a tweet from a Better Ubisoft. This is the labor group, proto-union, I guess. And they also tweeted, quote, "It is 1 year to the day that we signed our open letter to Ubisoft management calling for far more action to tackle abuse and setting out 4 key demands. None of our demands have been met." None of our demands have been met is... Dude, again, I'm just committing to covering this because, again, it's just Ubisoft not doing anything or saying anything. They're just like, nah, it'll go away. Nah, it'll go away.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're like just... their strategy is just to not do anything until their employees unionize, and then they have to do something.
I guess.
Is that like?
I mean, a quarter of their problem just left, Peterson. They waited
saying,
1 year, and their wait strategy worked out great. A quarter of the people that were problematic, they're gone. They're fucking out.
Yeah, so
it's working.
Dude, they got another like 4 or 5 years until some more people write a new letter. And then 6 years, they're gone.
Like that tweet?
They did the celebration hands emojis.
Just on that one tweet, though.
And they're like, fuck yeah. Isn't that great? Yeah, they're like 75% left to go.
We didn't even have to lay you off. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
No severance, bitches.
You made it so miserable you had to leave. Aren't I awesome?
I'm gonna make this such a toxic environment. PUBG's successor in India has been pulled from stores as the gaming Cold Wars drag on.
Oh man, India and China cannot get along, which
Dude,
is to the
this one
detriment
is
of the players.
wild to me. Because we know that India, like you said, India and China have just been at odds for a while now. But this was Battlegrounds Mobile India, also known as BGMI, and it was pulled from the Google Play Store in India, where they had 100 million users.
Get them out of here. Play something else.
Boggles my mind. Are there even 100 million gamers in America? Imagine if a third of America was playing one game on one platform.
Well, it's crazy too. I mean, the numbers. I feel like the numbers in India are always just staggering all the time. That's why they're like
crazy.
The market that everyone wants to get into, because India's, while India has a lot of problems, India's economy has been trending upwards for a while now. And so every market, everyone wants in to India. They want to capture that
especially
market
mobile.
Because 100 million,
dude,
like that's bananas.
It's like, it's so insane. But if you guys have been paying attention to this podcast for the last couple of years, you might be thinking, you might remember our Blursty nominee Bluehole is the publisher of PUBG, also Battlegrounds Mobile India, BGMI. And you're thinking, wait a second, guys, isn't Bluehole South Korean? Yes, you would be correct. That Bluehole is a South Korean company. It's actually currently owned by Krafton, which is the holding company for Bluehole now, because you always just got to have a bigger company.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger company to make sure the taxes don't hurt. So you're like, what the fuck? Why is India? India doesn't have any shit with South Korea, do they? No. Tencent apparently owns, or at some point in time owned, 10% of Krafton, who is the holding company.
Mm-hmm.
However, a while back when India banned a shit ton of games, including like all games from China, PUBG got swept up in that. And since then, Krafton said they cut ties with their publishing partner Tencent, which is another major investor, like 10%, and they pledged to invest $100 million in India's gaming ecosystem. And then they rolled out BGMI, and it was fine. And since then, this just randomly happened. They don't know why. India's pulled it again. And so this is my favorite at the end of this. Hunil Son, who is the CEO of PUBG India, said the company was open to investing an additional $100 million into the game. Are they just bribing? Did they just like...
Yeah.
I think they're... And like India's like, no, and they just shut the game off because they can just call up Google and be like, turn off this game. And Google's like, done.
All right.
There's 100 million
Whatever.
of you.
Doesn't matter.
It just played one game. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, turn it off. And then they're like... And then fucking Bluehole's like, $100 million? Will that do it? Will that grease these wheels? And they're like, and we will see.
Did every time the Indian government needs a little bit of cash, they're just gonna ban a video game, a real popular game, no big deal, kind of under the radar.
Yeah,
they'll be like, "Oh, you guys need $100 million. Okay.
Just a quick 9-figure bribe,
mm-hmm.
No biggie." That's like the level where you bribe a government in the open, because they're like, dude, you know you can make that. $100 million means every one of their players spends $1 over the course of a month. That's all they need to do to recoup their. Of course, they're fucking comfortable to do that. That is insane.
Yeah,
so we'll see
crazy.
If this bribe pays off. EA says single-player games are a, quote, really important part of its portfolio.
Here we go again.
Okay. This came during the first quarter earnings call last week, and EA was asked how single-player, by one of their investors, how single-player games currently fit into the company's portfolio. Have some funny quotes here. CEO Andrew Wilson responded, as we think about single player games, we think it's a really, really important part of the overall portfolio that we deliver in the fulfillment of those core motivations. This guy, honestly, I parsed out so much.
He's
just
like
business speak, but it's just empty words.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It just like made me just like my stomach was just churning because I was like, you're saying nothing.
It's because he's like, hurry, someone, what single player games do we have? Somebody.
Someone, come on. We have the stupid Jedi one. What was that stupid Star Wars one? Whatever.
Battlefield. Nope. No. Oh, shoot. FIFA.
Dude,
FIFA.
But this is my favorite thing. So this is the next thing that Andrew Wilson says. This is how he finishes it. And the way we plan for it over time is really looking at our community and looking how they're spending their time and looking where motivations may or may not be fulfilled. Why do you talk so much to say so little? And we'll look to supplement that with the addition of new online games, new multiplayer games, and new single player games. So he says in like the same breath, he's like, single player games are like a huge thing, and that's a real big part of our core motivations. So that's why we're making, and then he lists them in order of importance.
Yeah.
And to underline this whole thing, next up, right on the heels of this, CFO Chris Sue comes in. And the CFO's got some good shit to say. He says, quote, if we think about the model impact and the financial impact of it, I think the first thing to always keep in mind is that our live services still encompass, on trailing 12-month basis, over 70% of our business. Yeah. And that has been a proven, very reliable, highly reoccurring revenue stream. And that will still be the predominant driver in our P&L long term. Oh my God. So he just like negates literally everything the CEO gave in his very mealy-mouthed statement about single-player games. Unreal, dude.
So the CEO gets up there and he's like, okay, yeah, no, like multiplayer games are great. Single-player games are great. We committed to do both. We're really interested in multiplayer. Oh, yeah, and then the single-player too. And then he's like, thank you. Walks off. Then Chris Sue comes in and he's like, yeah, multiplayer games really make all our money for us. It's really the online ecosystem. CEO's over here going, actually probably already left the room. He didn't care.
And he does it in the finance guy way of just saying like a bunch of fucking jargon. So you're like so overwooed with all the
trailing 12-month basis, proven reliable, highly revenue stream,
and very reliable, highly recurring. Like, dude, fuck off.
Someone should do a pie chart of multiplayer versus single games they released to see if it matches this 70% statistic that only 30% of their games are single player.
Oh man.
No, I don't even think they would say single player is 30%. They would say like online. They would classify so many other games. I think single player would just be this tiny slice of that pie.
Yeah,
according to Chris Sue, even smaller than 30%. And it's like he really just drives that point home that it's completely it's just words.
They should just have that projected behind him as he says all those words.
He's like, I gotta pay some lip service now to single player games, which make us no money because we don't really care about them.
They take forever to make. We only get paid for it one time when you guys buy it once. It sucks,
which is the biggest problem.
We just want you to give. We need you to give us. We need you to buy packs of cards for soccer players for years. That's really where we're at. We want you to play FIFA. We want you to buy FIFA and then give us just hundreds of dollars to make the game worth playing.
We want you to buy FIFA comma number forever.
Actually, no, sorry. Remember, they're breaking ties with FIFA.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's just going to be EA soccer game.
That's what I was going to call it. EA soccer game.
John Madden Soccer. They still have the Madden name.
Who is the most famous American soccer player?
Well, it's probably one of the female players, but they won't go with that.
No fucking way. Yeah, there were some awesome.
Yeah, like Megan Rapinoe. Like everyone knows who that is, right? They're gonna choose Mia Hamm. Nope, it's gonna be. Come on, do you think they would make Mia Hamm Soccer 2023? There's a 0% chance these guys would ever consider that.
But it's very important to them.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, now I want Mia Hamm Soccer. That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be Mia Hamm Soccer, and then it's gonna be exclusively guy teams. There's not gonna be a female team on there, and you'd be like, I don't know what's going. Because are there any women's teams in FIFA games? Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
Landon Donovan Soccer. Oh gosh,
Landon Donovan.
yeah, he hasn't played for a long time, but Lando. Anyway. I'm interested to see what they call this game. Yeah, EA. It's funny though when you get the take from like the CEO's going to give the like communications take, like, oh, we don't want to alienate anyone. No, listen, guys, we love all this stuff. Everything's great. And then the finance guys have a completely different take.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, it's not responsible for us to focus on single player games because we don't make any money that way. And
dude, he like directly contradicts. I guess in the scheme of things, the CFO doesn't like report to the CEO, does he? They're like adjacent or like
no,
next to each
they
other?
usually report to the CEO.
Well, then, yeah, I feel like this guy's contradicting his boss. I'd be like, fuck you, man. What the fuck? What do you... Can you wait like one more question to directly contradict what I just said?
Immediately make a counterpoint.
And you sound like such a dork, and you're so condescending. Dude.
Get out of here, you dork.
Like,
shut up. Who let you talk in this meeting? Nerd.
Push him. Just push him directly in the face. Shove him from the face down. Just like the fucking dork he is. Sony says Call of Duty is an essential games service, while Microsoft says it isn't.
So this is part of the Activision purchase.
Yeah.
Microsoft is trying to downplay the importance of every single one of their games. They're like, no,
these shitters.
Tons of games like Call of Duty's like, is that even a thing anymore?
Call of Duty more like Call of Poopy, right?
Like,
Duty that game sucks. Does anyone even play that anymore? 12-year-olds.
And then Sony's doing the opposite. They're like,
hasn't
Call
it always
of
been
Duty,
12-year-olds?
Yeah.
Yep.
So many 12-year-olds. My son is a good example. He's like, dude, Dad, Call of Duty's so good. I'm so good at it. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, and so yeah,
I'm gonna go pro, Dad. I'm gonna go pro. You don't even realize.
Look, I really think I have a shot. I 360 no scoped a guy. I wish I was joking right there when I said all of that. None of that was parody. This is my life. No, Sony's doing the opposite though. Sony is like, are you kidding me? Call of Duty is the most important game of our generation, and it is essential because they want it to not be a Microsoft exclusive so badly.
I want to read this. This is from a filing in a Brazilian court. According to a 2019 study, the importance of Call of Duty to entertainment in general is indescribable. Well, wait,
wow.
We're gonna proceed.
I feel like I could describe it.
Yeah, that's what the point of the study seems to be. The brand was the only video game IP to break into the top 10 of all entertainment brands among fans, joining powerhouses such as Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings. Call of Duty is so popular that it influences users' choice of console, and its community of loyal users is entrenched enough that even if a competitor had the budget to develop a similar product, it would not be able to rival it. Dude, Sony's building up Call of Duty. Sounds like a space program.
Yeah, this is wow. This is they're making this seem like the biggest deal that's ever happened in gaming. So this is interesting. But I like that they called Call of Duty essential. It is an essential game.
Indescribable how essential it is, really.
It's mostly indescribable.
I'm just speechless about it.
So Microsoft is going around the world, quite literally, and to all these different regulatory bodies and being like, you cool with this? Are you cool with this? And most of the major gaming companies that I've seen their responses, because they get a weigh in, as their direct competitor, they've been like, meh, it's like whatever. But Sony is really pushing back hard, understandably so.
If Call of Duty is an Xbox exclusive, what they're saying, and look, I get it. They're like, oh man, then people buy Xboxes and not PlayStations, and you're like,
right.
Isn't that the point of all of this? Like,
Yeah.
aren't you guys trying to beat each other all the time? At
Mhm.
you know, I don't know.
Are you
It
guys
seems
just
crazy.
trying to become the last company? Isn't that the whole point of capitalism? To be the last company?
The last company? That is, oh, that's the dream. Like, just saying that made so many people, so many capitalists just really horny.
Can you
They were like,
imagine
"Oh,
the
last
game has
company?"
been won and there is the ultimate capitalist? Imagine if we all just like knew who our boss was. We had just like one ultimate boss and his desk was so big.
Dude, he works on the moon.
My favorite thing about this whole thing is Microsoft claimed that there is, quote, nothing unique about the video games developed and published by Activision.
I just took a drink right before he said that, and I should not have.
Can you fucking imagine if you were a developer at
Just kicking dirt right at him, like, you guys suck.
You don't. You're nothing unique about you, Microsoft.
You know what?
Jerks.
I don't even know why we're buying these guys, to be honest.
It's like buying a bag of shit. Honestly, they should be They should be giving us money for taking care of their dumb company. Nothing they do is good or unique or valuable to anyone or anything. It all sucks. So can we buy them?
We're just
for like $1,300 a share or some shit.
Yeah. It's the biggest video game acquisition of all time. Like, guys, it doesn't matter. We're just like, they suck. Let's be honest, they suck.
If we don't buy them, they're just gonna go out of business. So it's basically charity. We're just gonna write it off.
Welcome.
An esports owner is wanted by police after a $33 million drug bust.
Okay, so this is in the Philippines.
Tight.
There is a guy named Bernard Bren, is his nickname, Bren Chong, which is pretty funny because it reminds me of Ben Chang from a Community.
Oh yeah,
Bren Chong. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say. Bren Chong. He's a coffee magnate. Magnate? How do you say that word?
Magnet.
Nope, that's magnets are metal.
Coffee to him. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. he loves coffee.
So I don't know why you included that strange detail in the story, but go on. Guy loves coffee.
Coffee loves him.
He's a coffee magnet.
There's a big drug bust.
I'm never going to say it right again. I'm always going to say magnet. That is so fucking funny.
Oh my gosh. It's one of those words that I've always like said in my head. And then I said it and I was like, that's wrong. I know that's wrong.
Electric vehicle magnet Elon Musk.
So fucking funny. Oh man. What do we
say? Pronounced magnate, like a wealthy, influential person.
No, Jenna, it's
similar
magnet,
sounding words. Magnet.
Maybe
magnate.
Maybe the G and the N are like the Italian version, the magnate.
Oh yeah, magnate.
Magnate. I think it sounds like a type of cheese or something, but so Bren Chong, the coffee magnate, he owns an esports team and named after him called the Bren Esports team. They're not a small deal, right? They've got pro teams in Overwatch, League of Legends, Counter-Strike. Since 2017, they've won 34 tournaments. So it's a big team, and now their owner, Mr. Bren Chong of Bren Esports, is wanted by the Filipino government for a drug bust, a major drug bust. And you're like, oh, it's, what kind of drugs? That's what JD said. He's like, what kind of drugs is this? It's meth. It's like the worst one. So this is pretty funny.
Shabu. And I gotta wonder if that $33 million is based on the street price in the Philippines or the U.S. And I wonder where meth is more valuable. I feel like you can make meth anywhere, but like growing weed is kind of hard. It takes a lot of space. Same with like coca plants.
Type of location.
Yeah,
but meth,
and
yeah,
like poppies.
You just need...
But yeah, meth, you just get like a fucking jug of some shit and just like pour it in some other shit and light it on fire.
If I learned anything from Breaking Bad,
yeah, tinfoil, some matchbook strips.
Yeah, and you need a whole bunch of what's that medicine?
Oh yeah, pseudoephedrine.
Some pseudo, yeah, you got to get some pseudo. So yeah. I think they have pseudo in Philippines.
So yeah, that seems like the only drug they could probably manufacture reliably.
I wonder if the esports teams are so good because the players are doing meth right before their competitions.
100%. 100% you would be better if you were cranking on meth. That would be funny if there was that much overlap. I think this is cool, dude. I think video games have finally made it. Video games are an organized crime now, guys. They're part of organized criminals' portfolios. Like, crime bosses have esports teams, much in the same way that, like, mafiosos used to run, like, baseball teams back in, like, the 60s.
Yeah, and, like, unions and stuff. Same shit. Yep. It's video games now.
Yeah.
That's the new...
We made it, guys.
New union. Video games. So, yeah, we've made it. And congratulations to the folks in the Bren Esports teams for really breaking through that glass ceiling of organized crime.
Play the clip.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
Diablo Immortal players can't get into a match after spending $100,000.
Yeah, so it's this one guy,
Jay. It's all business.
I assume he's single.
If he wasn't, he is now, because he spent like half a mortgage, or I guess like a quarter of a mortgage now.
Yeah, people are barely affording rent, and like, what's this guy doing?
Dude, he's playing Diablo Immortal like a boss. He
can't though, apparently.
He spent so much money, he's literally unbeatable in this game. His MMR is so high, he can't find a match anymore.
He can't get in. They did like a major game event, and he wasn't allowed to be in it. Like, he wasn't in it. He couldn't get in if he wanted to. So,
which is how you get some of the skins and items in that game, is through the events.
Dude, he won. I think he won Diablo Immortal. Isn't that what that means?
He won a pay-to-win game. People are like, how do you win a pay-to-win game? He won it.
Yeah, he won. Like,
he paid all of the money.
He paid it.
Dude, I'm sitting here thinking it's a shame that the term to describe these people is whale, because whales are the largest animal to ever live on this entire fucking planet in like 4 billion years. And yet this guy was bigger than a whale. Because
he beat the whales. He's the whale
all
of
the other whales.
The whale of whales.
The whale of whales.
Yep.
It's like if there was something a blue whale just had like a... Imagine if a blue whale got gigantism. I mean, they're fucking mammals. It's not that crazy to think like you get like an Andre the Giant blue whale.
Well, there I go down a weird bunny trail now. Thanks a lot for that one.
Gigantism in already gigantic animals. I want a gigantic elephant. We're like, fuck, that one's too big. It's too fucking big. That elephant's too big. I don't know why. It just looks too big.
Dude.
That's this guy. Jay, it's all business.
I can't.
He's the super whale.
Oh, gosh. He is the super whale. He beat the game. That's weird to think about. Like, he officially has won the game. He's too good to play against other players. I don't know.
He's waiting for a challenger, folks. You heard it here.
Yeah, seriously, slap leather. You guys take out a mortgage or maybe a second mortgage on your house, and you can.
Nope, I just started a GoFundMe to take down the whale.
Yes.
Diablo Immortal GoFundMe. I need $101,000.
Dude, he's like the guy in that South Park World of Warcraft episode, but instead of just like playing so much, he just spent all the money. But it's the exact same equivalent. Like he's like a godlike character, and they just can't play with anyone anymore.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So fun.
It's probably been a great time.
Multiversus' season 1, including Morty of Rick and Morty, has been delayed.
Uh-oh.
No date was given, actually, for like, oh, it'll be a month or it'll just be whatever. They're just like, nope, it's delayed, and we'll let you know.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
this
Do you think it's because of the explosion of popularity and they didn't expect that?
I think here's my guess. So they put the game out, super popular, and there are some balancing issues with the characters that exist. That's going to happen in any of these games where different characters have different abilities, that sort of thing. They're going to find out balancing issues, which they've already rebalanced a couple different characters. I think Taz was the first rebalance.
Yeah.
Now they're working on Finn rebalance. And so I think they're not ready to add new, because I bet you they already have all of the programming for Morty done. He's got his moveset, how they work. I bet he's pretty playable, but the balance is probably way off. And they're working on rebalancing. And if they rebalance one character, they're gonna have to rebalance Morty again. And I think they're in that weird cycle of, it's not easy to just make a character and throw him in the game.
Yeah.
Like League of Legends style. League of Legends would make a character, throw him in the game, and every time that was the most OP character.
His win rate was like 65, and then they just tune it down to 55, and they keep it around there so they could continue to sell the character.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other issues with it, but I bet that's a huge piece of it. If I had to guess, these games are super hard to balance, and this is their first one, right? They're not Smash Bros. And so that's my guess. But I don't know anything about games.
Yeah, we don't know much.
You don't talk about it much either.
Yeah.
Tencent is working really hard to buy Ubisoft out from under the Guillermo brothers. Race to the bottom.
Tencent is trying to buy a big
Tencent
stake in
owns
Ubisoft.
5% of Ubisoft already, just like they own 5% of every video game company and 5% of this podcast. Guillermo's, the brothers, they own 15%. Oh, just 15% of Ubisoft. Man, they have given up a lot of equity in that company.
Yeah.
And Tencent is openly trying to buy the other 10% on the open market. They're just like, we're just going to fucking get it. We're just going to get a controlling share of the company.
Snatch it up.
And, I mean, this is all they can do, right? They're iced out in China. They can't sell shit in China. The only way they can make money is by buying and selling products or profiting off of products sold outside of China.
Yeah, not doing anything, not influencing it, not making it, just owning a piece.
Yep. They're just a holding company now. They're like Embracer Group, but like not interesting.
Yeah, Embracer Group, but we don't like them. We didn't like them to start with.
It's
been
an interesting fall from grace for Tencent, who've fallen victim to, like, I think the same mechanisms that made them successful in the first place. So it will be interesting to see what if they manage to pull this off and gain a controlling stake in Ubisoft.
That would be so interesting.
Yeah. To know that.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, when they announced it, you seen their share price? Price spikes.
Everyone's did.
Yeah. So this is crazy.
Tencent's did and Ubisoft's did.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like people think that this is a good idea.
Well,
I'm just confused what this does. I guess everyone's like, well, because the share price that they were going to buy at was like 30. It was like 50% higher than that's where it's trading, right?
Yeah,
so it's
and
like
it was pretty much
premium.
It was almost double what they paid for in 2018 for their 5% stake. So
yeah, so I guess that's why the prices went up. But
well, pretty soon, I mean, like you said, they all want. We're just working towards one company at this point. So I'm just waiting for the announcement that Tencent is purchasing Embracer or vice versa.
Yeah, because I think at the later stages of this game, China, in desperation, sells all of its companies to America, and then that helps because America, by this point, will just have the two companies.
Yeah.
And then they'll just divvy up all of China's companies between the two of them while they kind of figure out how to,
It'll be Nestle and let's see,
Nestle and Fuddruckers. Return to Moria is this game that seems to be made exclusively for me and Peterson.
Oh man.
Wow. Where did you find this? How did this? You just sent me this shit?
I was just on the Epic Games Store, and it was on there. It was like flashing through their like main page, and it's Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. And I had skipped past it, and I was like, nope. Got to go back. What was that? Because I saw Lord of the Rings. And then I was like, I need to screenshot this for JD because this game seems like it was made
guy
for
sends
us.
me a screenshot, so I don't get many details at all. He just like sends me a screenshot. He's like, "Hey, here's a game for you," and I'm like, "Wait, what is this? What is it? What the fuck? It's like Peterson just like kicks open the front door and sprinkles some cocaine, and he's like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "Whoa, where?"
Peterson's a game promoter,
Dude.
just handing out flyers.
Where'd you get that? And what are you doing here? And why? Where's the rest of it?
Yeah. So this game is a survival crafting video game set in the mines of Moria, the dwarven homeland of Moria. And you're reclaiming it. So you're building, you're fighting, this is what I want. I want this.
All I want.
I'll be so mad if this game sucks.
Valheims of Moria.
Mm-hmm.
Val Mines of Moria. There you go.
Val Mines of Moria. It's perfect.
When I was reading about this, I didn't immediately make the connection between Moria and what Moria actually is. I just saw I was like, oh, that's a Lord of the Rings word. And I heard survival game, and that's where my brain went. And so I was like, wait, where would be a good setting for a Lord of the Rings survival? And I was like, I think I initially thought Mordor, because we've had these Mordor games, Shadows of Mordor, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where my mind went. And I was like, I guess a survival game in Mordor would be okay. It'd be pretty cool. And then I was like, other places would be cool. But then when I realized it was Moria, dude, isn't in the Lord of the Rings canon, isn't it just fucking huge?
Huge. Yeah. Huge.
So immeasurably, they hollowed out a fucking mountain, right?
Yeah. And then they went even way further deep. And that's how the Balrog came about, because they dug too deep and too greedily.
Yeah. So far down.
Yeah.
So this is just endless. Oh my god, I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. So it's coming out next year, 2023.
They said 2023. The company that's making it is
who knows?
Is a nobody, right? They don't have anything. Even the publishing company is the only game. They have 7 Days to Die, the zombie survival crafting game that I was just playing. That's it. That and another game that's defunct, I guess. And so, yeah, it's nobody's making this game.
That's what I wonder is how much, because this is a PC exclusive, at least for now. And I'm, as far as I can tell, an EGS exclusive. Seems to me this is an EGS cash drop where they swooped in and they're like, hey, we'll make this exclusive on our store. And they're praying for the next Valheim hit. And you know what? With fucking Lord of the Rings, I just don't know how they got that. How did that makes sense? How they're making?
How did Free Range Games get
that license? How do they secure that?
I have no idea. But
who was the publishing company? They did 7 Days to Die.
North Beach Games. So developers Free Range Games and the publisher is North Beach Games. Dude, these are like, I mean, nobody's really. They're not like big names.
Absolute nobodies.
Mhm.
And not to say that's like a bad thing. I'm just like,
Yeah, we're not like dissing on them. Like they're not names they're not big names in the business. And they've got Lord of the
okay.
Rings
The
games.
CEO of this company, John Miller of North Beach, was for 3 years, almost 4 years, the director of third-party publishing for Telltale Games.
Oh, interesting.
There it is.
He's got some ins.
He has a lot of ins.
He knows some people.
Yeah, and then he founded another Open Door Entertainment, and he's been the CEO of North Beach since he left Telltale. So it's, yeah. So they, honest to God, may have been working on this since then. 2018 to 2023 for a licensed open world survival game, a 5-year development cycle. Doesn't that seem about right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
From conceptual stages in 2018 while he's securing this license, and then to that would be my best guess as how the hell that came about. But I don't care. I'm in 100% in. Charge me $60 EGS. I don't give a fuck. I'll pay it. Stupid.
Kudos.
All right, Kudos is our positivity segment. I'd like to give a shout out to something we're into. And this week, Jenna and I have a couple of kudos. Peterson, do you have any kudos?
I don't have one this week, so you guys are good to just take the ball and roll with it. Run with
Okay,
it.
well, I'll grab one ball. Jenna, you grab the other.
Wait. Nope.
Just
That
twist
sounds so much worse than mine was a sports metaphor, and
mine
this
was a
guy-
ball torture metaphor. Okay, so the first one is
That's not a thing. You can't. That's not a thing.
this show on HBO called Minx. I think we just stumbled across this browsing, right, Jenna?
I found it.
You found it.
Yeah.
Jenna found it. I watched the trailer for like 1 second, was instantly in. This is a series that is set in the early 70s, in which a woman that is trying to get her feminist magazine published ends up compromising and
Joining forces.
with a porn publisher who publishes a women-focused porn mag with like dudes in it. So it's like Playgirl, but like a feminist magazine with like feminist writings and stuff in it. Did I sum that up, Jenna?
It's also a comedy.
Super fucking funny.
Yeah,
Feel
because
good.
your description didn't sound funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feminist.
sorry.
Teams. I don't know. It just didn't sound very funny the way you were saying it. But
And
it like
I love this series because, yeah, it just totally ditches the myth that, like, feminist humor can't be funny because it's freaking hilarious. And it's actually got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It looks like, according to Wikipedia, that they've already renewed for another season, so I'm really stoked about that. I related a lot to the main character of this in some instances because at Westminster, you know, being around like college girls and sometimes getting way too into the weeds of things that don't actually matter, but they think they've like had this major epiphany because they're like learning all these new things in life. And there's this scene where she's just like, get in with the real world. Cause like, yeah, like in life, like you're going to have to make compromises and it's not going to be like this ideal thing that you might think. And so, yeah, I love the story and the comedy. It's just really well done. The costumes are amazing. The sets are amazing.
Yeah, when
the
does this
acting
take
is
place?
awesome.
This early 70s.
Okay.
In
She
LA.
sits down to talk to a group of college students, feminist college students, to talk about her magazine. And the first thing one of the women asks, she goes, "Why are all the male penises flaccid? Do you think women are not strong enough to be confronted with an erect male penis?" See, it's fucking hysterical. She goes to the one of the first scenes is she's at like a magazine publishing convention and she's pitching her magazine to people. But this is at the point where it's called, Jenna, what was the original title? The Patriarchy Awakens.
Yes.
And on the cover is a very, very angry looking woman who's like shouting. And so in her pitch meeting to these publishers, she's explaining like all the problems that the patriarchy has created for women over the years and the centuries, and like all the things that and the reasons that women are trying to break free from that. And one of these guys like listens to her whole pitch and he's just like, why does the woman on the magazine look so angry? He goes, I just explained that. It's just it's a feel good. It's if you're familiar with The New Girl, if you ever watched that, I think his name is Nick, the like the love interest from that show. Did you ever watch that, Peterson?
My wife has watched it. I did not. I saw it.
So he plays the guy that Zooey Deschanel's like into. Or whatever.
Yeah. I'm looking at the cast and I see him.
He plays the porn publisher, and he's fantastic. His character is fun to watch. The acting is fantastic, and you really don't like hate anyone in the series. They're all kind of like interesting and kind of funny. It's not like they set up really, really nasty antagonists or anything, or just like kind of those cheap plot drivers. You're like, oh, come on, you're eye rolling. It's just like a really natural flow and some really good feel good show. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I feel like all the characters kind of have their own developments. Like they all push each other to grow because there's so much contrast going on. And I just think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's dope. So check it out. It's about porn. So yeah, there's like
Minx, Minx.
Yes. Oh, and if you are like the feminist college student, you do get to see an erect penis at the end, which was shocking.
Thank goodness. I mean, it's HBO, so I was like, how many penises are we seeing? Not if there's a penis, it was how many.
Yeah, a fair amount. But the erect penis scene made me laugh so fucking hard. I thought I was gonna die.
Made you never mind.
So the other show, this is just very hot off the presses. Jenna, we were at the climbing gym and we sat down and she goes, hey, so F-Boy Island's better than Bachelorette. And I was like, get out. And I barely could focus at the gym, honestly, for the rest of the night because I just couldn't wait. So we go home, we check it out. Peterson, F-Boy Island is better than the Bachelorette this season, 100%.
I mean, it's not hard to be better than the Bachelorette this season for sure.
True.
Have you watched this show?
No,
you don't have HBO.
I don't have HBO.
This is all just HBO stuff.
You're really rubbing it in.
A dating reality series. 3 women on an island. There's 12 self-proclaimed F-boys and 12 guys that aren't, that just like actually want a relationship, like traditionally like the Bachelorette. And
they're there for the right reasons.
The women are dumb as stumps. The dudes are also pretty dumb.
Dude,
some
that's
of the
what I want.
F-boys...
Don't give me smart people on these shows.
Yes, exactly. And then there's a couple like horrifically antisocial sociopathic F-boys that are like scattered in there.
Yeah. And
it's just a fun mix. And Peterson, unlike the Bachelorette this season, they don't all look exactly the fucking same.
Oh my gosh. Bachelorette this season is rough. I would say worse than any other season in terms of the guys, especially at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Indistinguishable.
Jenna described it as a chore. Like we always call it vegetables because you gotta eat your vegetables so you can enjoy Bachelor in Paradise. Dude, I don't know if I can eat my vegetables this season. I'm gonna push them under the plate. No fucking way.
Well, I guess here's the other thing about Bachelorette. I know we're not getting into that, but
well, we can.
But not only are the guys kind of identical, and now that we're a few episodes in, they're starting to be more distinguishable because some guys have gone home. A lot of the like generic looking dudes have gone home.
Thank
but
God.
The guys that are still here, none of them are good looking. There's not like a good looking dude in the bunch. Dude, I'm like, they all look like weird.
There were no lookers from the jump.
They're memorable because they're odd looking. That's like where we're at.
Is the Fabio guy still around? The guy that showed up on a horse?
I think he might have just got sent home.
I think he was good looking, but I couldn't look at him above like his shoulders. He was so yoked. I was like, what's going on up there? I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. So F-Boy Island does
Check
look
it out.
good. Does sound
on HBO.
good.
I know it sounds so the name is so unappealing that I was like, ugh, it's gonna be so shitty. But no, it's good. I mean, it's shitty.
It's garbage TV, but
It's like pure trash.
Yeah, guys, we're not talking about Bachelorette and F-Boy Island because we're like, guys, these are
like
intellectually
high art.
stimulating.
I do like the host. The host is Nikki Glasser. She's a comedian. I do think she's pretty funny.
Yes.
Is she good? Is she funny as the host?
She's
Yeah.
actually pretty funny, which is nice. Because that's, I think, what I don't like about The Bachelor. That's why I liked Bachelor in Paradise when they had David Spade on it last year.
David Spade, yeah.
Having a
Forgot
comedian
about that.
make light of the ridiculousness of this situation and the scenario they're in is very helpful.
I'm in.
And that's what this does. So yeah, check that out if you have HBO, which Peterson doesn't. Hey Jackson, see if you can get HBO Peterson on our HBO thing. Do we have an extra thing?
Jackson.
Just see if you can get him on there.
Dear game devs, it's been nearly a fortnight since I last wrote. Mother is well and much has changed back on the farm, but I have just one request of you.
Dear Game Devs is this segment where we ask developers to do something for us. And it started as a joke, but honest to God, like 50% of the time, they just do these things.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to make what we're talking about, so.
Yeah, like we joke, but...
they're not going to
to
make what I've got, but you go. I want you to go. Cause...
Okay. Do you want me to start with... Okay, so I could rank mine in most likely to least likely. Which would you like me to start with?
Most likely.
Most likely we have.
Okay, so this is games turning a multiplayer game into a single player game.
Oh, I didn't even say it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Dear Game Devs, please. So let's rewind a little bit. This was all predicated on EA's statement about single player games.
Yeah.
And now they're like, hey, we're actually focusing on single player games. And I thought, what if EA turned so hard? They steered their ship so hard towards single-player games. They started actually converting multiplayer games into single-player games.
They're like, well, we have Madden. We could do this.
We can make this. It's like when they had Call of Duty, which was a standout, stellar single-player experience. That was all, the first couple ones were all based on like historical actual events during World War II. And they're like, no,
I thought they were still historically accurate.
The Samoyed skin is accurate historically. It's ever since that sad war in
the Dog Wars.
Of Mongolia.
Yeah.
No. So that dear
okay,
game,
I want that game now. The Mongolian Dog Wars.
You guys make Mongolian Dog Wars, please. That sounds tight as hell. Okay, so this is Dear Game Devs, turn this multiplayer game into a single player game. I will start with the most likely because maybe, I don't know. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is this game where you walk around with your phone and catch Pokemon, and it's, multiplayer in that you can like battle other people and like see them and interact with them, I guess. But I want this to go full single player. I want a story. I want this story to randomly generate based on where I am in the gyms that are around me. So,
wow. Yeah,
so I'm in a super rural area. This is going to be a hell because I'm going to have to go to like get in a car and drive pretty far. But if you're in like a city and I just turn on Pokemon Go for the first time, yeah, I want you to find like the 8 nearest gyms to me, rank them, and then stock them up with Pokemon. And then I'm going to have my Pokemon Go experience is actually going to feel like an AR instead of like it's just like a phone camera you just use your phone camera.
It's the most basic version of AR.
Yeah.
Right?
This would be a actual story driven AR that I think you could fucking do this if you gave a damn. The Pokemon, the people, Niantic that makes Pokemon Go, I mean, they're like leftover Google developers that got like spun out and worked half to death. They don't give a shit. They don't make like a good product. It's barely stable. and they don't really add new things to it at all. But if it was something cool, I think this wouldn't be.
So are you saying like,
possible.
are you saying like different locations across the U.S., for example, would have different? There would be a gym there, and it would have its own unique story.
No. I'm saying, so you have the game, and there's 8 gyms and a story with characters and everything in it. And where I just boot up my game, and that's like where my home, like I start open Pokemon Go right now at my house, and there's like a gym at the library, and there's like a gym at this gas station, and there's a gym like at the school. Those are like, and those automatically just become my gyms. What?
A gym at the gym.
And there's a gym at the gym. And those become like the gyms as part of the story. And then I go to those and they become, and I'm constantly going to like the library, for example, because I'm trying to beat this one gym leader or something.
See,
go ahead.
I was thinking, my brain was going, and I was like, yeah, this is a travel game now. Because they're like, dude, there's a gym in St. Louis. You have to experience the story. It is so crazy.
You could do both for sure.
You go to a new city and you're like, dude, there's a couple dope gyms here. I gotta go check them out. With some crazy story and some Pokemon boss. I don't know.
Make it 100 gyms. Why stop at 8? So 8 would be like the small radius around your home. And once you beat all those, now you have another radius of gyms and another radius of rarer Pokemon. So everything just kind of spawns out from where you
going
first started it. And like you said, if you get in a car and just go forever, you're going to run into some really rare Pokemon out there.
Pokemon World.
That's what I want. See, that's a good one. What do you guys got?
Jenna, did you have any?
I don't have like a specific game that I can remember, but it's just more so like a general frustration because, as you guys have probably heard in the past, I'm constantly looking for co-op games for Jonathan and I to play.
Oh, yeah.
And so I do happen to run across, like, even though I don't play multiplayer games, like quite a few of them. Yeah. And sometimes every now and then I get really excited because I'm like, oh, this looks kind of fun. And then I realize like it's all built up to do online only with other people. And I'm like, well, what if I wanted to just play this game? Or if I wanted to share this with Jonathan, I can't do it on the couch with him. So I don't know. I feel like I've run into that every now and then, and it always kind of bums me out.
So yours is Dear Game Devs More Couch Co-op.
Yes, please.
So
I'm changing it.
What if they made It Takes Two as a single player game?
It takes one to not play this game. I would say I just hate it just as much.
It Takes You. That's what it would be called.
Takes You.
Yeah. Like what if and actually they could do that. Well, something like it. There's a game called A Way Out, and it is two brothers. It's a co-op game where you're escaping prison.
Prison, right.
And so you have to like work together, and you're on different parts of the map and doing things simultaneously. I did play a game. Oh gosh, what was it called? It was the developers who made all the Sierra games, those point and click adventures. They made one. Oh man, what is that called? Anyways, they made one, and at some point you were controlling like 3 or 4 different characters, and you would just kind of pause where that one was, and you'd go to the next guy, you'd climb up the tower, and then you'd hit the thing, and then you'd have to move to the next character, and it would like kind of pause his time, so you were doing the things simultaneously, but you were switching characters. I mean, it was not as fun as co-op, that's for sure.
That sounds sad, like a tabletop game that's multiplayer, but also it says on the box that it has options for one player, and you're like, fuck.
Dude, my brother, he loves board games, and he has multiplayer story games that he'll play by himself sometimes. Because his wife's like so sick of playing with him, he'll just play by himself.
Dude, that's tight. Good for him. Good for him, though. That's cool.
Okay, so I have one because, and I thought of this solely because I've been playing Chivalry again. We could jump back in. Dude,
I have Chivalry too.
Chivalry single player story campaign would be dope.
So good.
It would be so good.
Peterson, imagine a battle where, because they have these like long battle sequences, right? And a match is what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes?
Just depends on the match,
But imagine if they had a battle that was it was an hour, like an hour-long mission, and you were just fighting like one of these battles.
Do you remember Star Wars Battlefront, the original ones?
Yes.
And that's what it was. It was like two armies going against each other, and you would just control, most of the time, a nameless character. You'd be like, I am a stormtrooper. And I'm this type of stormtrooper. And you're going in and getting all these kills. And when you die, you're just a new stormtrooper. And it was like, whoever can kill, you're trying to kill their army before they kill your army, right?
Yeah.
Dude, just do that with Chivalry.
Baby.
Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be so fun. Because that game is a mess.
Dude, and it's there. Like, all the stuff is there. I feel like they've got all the cool voice acting. They've got the characters. And they have AI, right? Like, they have AI characters that spawn in when you run out of...
Yeah.
So they have, like, a functioning AI. It wouldn't be that hard to make it, like, a dumb single-player game out of it, I feel.
I know.
That'd be so cool. I would love to... Maybe I should have ranked Shiv this one higher in likelihood than the Pokemon World one.
How would you guys make Valheim into a single player game?
Jenna, that's my next one. Shut up. Quit spoiling. Peterson takes one and then you take one?
We both took one. Dude,
oh my God.
You too well, JD.
It's my
too
head.
Easy. It's too...
those were my three: Pokemon Go, Shiv 2, and Valheim. Jenna, damn it,
stole his thunder, dude. Actually, I watched her walk in. We can see him on camera. She walked into his room, looked at his notes, went back to her mic, and said that,
and rubbed her hands together.
Yeah, she
dude,
because I do that.
Valheim. All the time.
Jenna's so mean. You don't even know.
If you guys haven't picked up on it from listening to this podcast, Jenna's a huge bitch, like all the time.
She's so mean to us.
You said it though, right?
you said it right. So Valheim already, if you guys know, has a single player mode. You can just play it single player.
Play by yourself.
Play by yourself. Play with a friend. But what I'm asking for is a more...
You want like a true single player experience.
I want, and I think you could do it, which would be the coolest thing, because I've never heard of this. I guess kind of No Man's Sky has NPCs. I just think it'd be cool if you had NPCs that were actually like part of a story.
Yeah.
That also appeared within Valheim's randomly generated world, because that's one of my favorite things about Valheim is it randomly generates every time you play the game a gigantic, like it is impossibly gigantic how big this world is. And to think that you could have NPCs and story elements scattered, like Peterson, imagine if like one of the caves had something in it that you needed, and you just like had to talk to guys and like sniff around
figure out where it was.
And I'm sure they're probably working on this with the fucking mods right now already. And there probably are a bunch of mods. But I think this would be such a cool experience. Just with I'm
thinking like more like Red Dead Redemption 2. You play single player, right? And the world was alive. A sudden, because the world in Valheim is dead, right? There's like nothing. There's just you
and animals,
and bad guys, and animals, right? Which is like the world of Red Dead Redemption Online. It's just like none of that. Those living characters are there. Think if you had Valheim with like small villages, you come across a little hamlet, with just a farmstead or something like that. I mean,
they have the Draugr villages, and it's the exact same thing.
It would be really cool.
And you just have those spawn with characters
in the game. There's like those dead villages where they're all burnt out and like the berry bushes are still there.
People in them.
What if they were alive? Like, what if the buildings weren't destroyed? I don't know. Yeah, that would be fun. I feel like I would play that.
You imagine you like wander into one of those villages, and the guys are like, and you could have random quests like, hey, the gray dwarfs are really coming after our raspberries. Bring me 10 gray dwarf eyes, and you bring them that, and they give you something cool for that.
Yeah. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I've given up hope on Valheim. I was telling Peterson this earlier. It finally broke me. I finally can't defend the guys taking so fucking long to make that game anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I've moved on. Planet Crafter's done like 5 updates. Raft is done. Raft just wrapped up, and they're just fucking done. They're like, here's the whole game. And Valheim's like, well, they're still working on the first thing that was on their roadmap.
We're gonna give you a new wall type. It's gonna be freaking awesome, you guys.
You're gonna hate it. You're not gonna reboot this.
You'll never use it. We'll give you a new wall type. You're not gonna
So
use
expensive.
it. But yeah, it's crazy.
Expensive. You're never gonna want to buy it. Do you guys have any more for this one, or do you want to move on?
No, I think that's good. I didn't. Mine were all sarcastic after this, so.
Okay, well then let's spin this awesome new song.
We heard about you in the alpha, and we played you in the beta. You were a hot mess early access, so we put you down for you. It's time to revisit, it's time to revisit. Revisiting ours are here.
Okay, Revisiting Hours is where we go back to a game that we played a while ago and give it another shot. Because games change now.
Yep, they come out. They release 1.0. So yeah, this is what they do.
Peterson, you have a Revisiting Hour for us this week. What you got?
Yes, so a long while ago, I played a game called Legend of Keepers. And
I honestly don't remember you playing this.
Okay, so when I tell you, you might remember. So this is a game. It is a turn-based combat, dungeon crawling, roguelike, with you're unlocking guys and things like that. And the premise is you work for a dungeon management company, and heroes keep coming and trying to steal the treasure. And you have been hired to create a dungeon that they can't beat. And so you're the bad guys, right? And heroes are coming in and you're trying to stop them. So the premise originally, I was like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And what it is you're not creating the dungeon from scratch. A group of heroes will show up and the dungeon is already created. They'll be like, okay, well, you got to go to the temple dungeon now because there's heroes are going to go loot it. And so you are the dungeon, master or whatever, and you're stopping them. And the first room is a battle room. So that means like you have minions and you place them based on who you think would be the best combination of the guys that you have. You have to like acquire guys as you go. Mm-hmm. Of all the guys you have, you set them in the right order. Who you think would fight these guys the best? I mean, the heroes are always way stronger than your guys.
And you're even putting them on the right side of the screen, traditionally where the bad guys go.
You're putting them on the bad guy side of the screen.
You play on the bad side of the screen.
Yes, you're demons and skeletons and orcs and things like that. You're not any good guys, and yeah, so and then it is a true turn-based combat game at that point because it's this weird mix. It is a turn-based combat game at its core, but I'd say like a good 50% of the game is not that, because then the next room will be a trap room where you have your pick of traps that you've unlocked, and you will put what trap you think will do the best, setting up for the next attack. And then the next room they'll go in, and that's like your room for your hero to cast a spell on them. And then so there's all these different types of rooms. And then if they make it to the end, they're fighting you, like your character who is, some big monster.
Sure.
And you're trying to stop them. It's honestly a lot of fun. It has changed quite a bit. So when I first played it, there wasn't all these game modes. There wasn't all the heroes because it was very early on. Now there are several different monsters. They actually don't. they call the guys you're fighting heroes.
Heroes.
There are heroes coming in to loot.
I love that. I
You gotta
love the
stop.
commitment to it. It's so fun.
Yeah, so it's very committed to this bit. And so yeah, you are this monster, and you are so there are a bunch of different monsters that you can play as now. Tons of different types of guys that you can play, and each monster type that you are. So the first guy was a big evil centaur. That's who I was.
Nice.
And you know, and you don't like you have like a underling who will go in there. He's like a mini boss. And there's in between the fights when someone is raiding, there's like a week, and you get to choose what you want to happen that week. Do you want to send your guys out on a little escapade? Do you want to visit the shop? Do you know what I mean? And then you do one, and then it moves to the next week. Well, sometimes your underling will come to you and be like, "Oh man, I could really use some better armor." And you're like, "Yeah, do you want to buy him more armor, or do you want to just whip him and say, get back to work?" And there's a positive bonus when you do that.
When you whip him.
Yes, you get some sort of positive bonus.
Amazing.
You can perform evil rituals to make the heroes have a harder time. It's all evil, right? And so that's pretty funny. So from when I played it before, at its core, it is the same game, but there's so much more to do and more things. I have now put 20 hours into the game. I just started playing it.
Oh, like wow. How many did you play originally?
Probably like 2.
Oh, dang.
And so I had a good feel. Like, you get a good feel for what this game is like right away.
What turned you off after 2 hours so quickly?
So I played it and I was like, man, it's okay. And then finally I was like, okay, the game's out. It's not early access anymore. I want to go in and just like see what's different. And yeah, now I'm like 20 hours in, and I don't know. It's just striking the right chord. I think because there's enough things to do. The difficulty has ramped up. Oh, there's also a bigger skill tree. There was no skill tree before for your hero. So now there's a skill tree for your hero, and there's all these different things you can experience and unlock and do, which, I mean, any roguelike, right? That's what you want, right? You want more stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know. This game went from being like, it was good, I kind of liked it, to like, I'm into this game. Do I think I'll put 20 more hours into it? Probably not. But it's, I mean, how much is it? Legend of Keepers. It's $20. I got it on sale for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't spend $20 on it. But yeah, this is a wait for a sale game because it's gonna go on for $10. It'll go for $12 or whatever. It's a great $10, $12 game to just kind of play. It you can pause it at any time by just not doing anything. You just like walk away, and
love
it's
that.
not gonna do anything.
No, I love that.
You can speed it up, so like the animations are so much faster.
Yeah,
which they do take a long time, so it does get kind of tedious. So you can just speed it up, so it's just like blowing through. I don't know, and like you're just it's a dungeon management turn-based strategy game, roguelike. I don't know, it just hits right for me now. It's scratching an itch. You know how that's like a big thing for me when I'm playing games.
Is it as good as Monster?
How much whipping have you done?
Oh my gosh, so much whipping, Jenna. You have no idea. Well, because I was the big centaur, and he has a big whip, and he's just whipping everything. Now,
when you're a centaur with a whip, everything looks like a back.
Yeah, everything's a back. Now I'm on the second monster character, and he's like a evil tree thing. I don't know. It's pretty funny. Jenny, you know how you made those little character images for our website, for the 3-bit website? A lot of the bad guys are kind of like that. It's just like a mishmash, and some of the stuff is kind of goofy.
Hell yeah.
And you're just like, wait, that's super weird. Like a lot of the guys are kind of like that. I've thought of that many times looking at the characters because it is a little bit pixely too. I'm like, this looks like a guy Jenna would make.
I missed a job opportunity, I guess.
Get in there, Jenna. Like for real, I've actually thought that. So I don't know. Great. It's a good game. Again, spend $10 on it, spend $12 on it, and get your 20 hours out of it.
Skylar still uses the Blobmaster as his Discord guy. And I just clicked on it. It's so good. Jenna, you should make more pixel characters.
I know. Jenna, I legitimately wish you would because they are all great.
They were so fucking funny.
Yeah.
You don't need to make them in like JavaScript or whatever shit you're using. Just make them with beads, for Christ's sake. They're so great.
Yeah, these are good.
I love that.
Peterson still has his, I think, too.
Yes, I do. JD has his.
The Gentle Bear.
The Gentle Bear.
Guys, if you want to play this, you want to get your own. I don't even remember. I think it's still like.
It's on the 3-bit quiz or something.
Oh, yeah. It's the 3bitgamershow.com.
It's so random, too.
Go to character quiz from the drop-down menu, and you can get your own.
You just go through all the options. I legit did this. I went through all the options just to see all the characters.
Blob Masters. Love Ninja.
Yes. They're so good.
Pirate Cat. Guys, there's just some gold here. And there's Tree Monster. Peterson, that's why you thought of it, because there legitimately is a tree monster.
Just a tree monster.
He probably ripped it off from Jenna.
Jenna, you could
sue him.
That's
what we do now.
You could do art for video games. We talked about this earlier. You could do art for video games. Get in there.
It was pretty hard coming up with the characters. I was like, oh man, it's a lot to come
Go
up
play
with.
this game. You'll get some ideas. Anyway, back to the game. Legend of Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Manager. Good game. Play it. I don't know what changed specifically in me wanting to play it. Just more content, and there are some DLC packs for it, which I might end up checking out.
Oh, that's cool. So they're like, it's an ongoing development thing. It's not like they're just done. So that's good, because that just means it'll just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. All right, let's do this next thing.
Dice of Destiny.
All right, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for the Dice of Destiny. A 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. That person then rolls another 6-sided dice to see how much money they can spend on their game. They then find a game for that price in that genre, pick it, play it, review it. A couple weeks back, Jenna rolled a funny game for $30, and she picked a game called
Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion.
I love
Jenna,
it so much.
Tell us all about Turnip Boy evades tax evasion. What did you think of that game?
Well, the title hooked me in instantly. I was like, what is this?
What's going on?
So basically, you're this very cute turnip, and the whole world is very cute and cartoonish, and you are pretty adamant about not paying your taxes, and that you hate documentation of any kind. You gotta rip it up. Just get rid of it.
Yes.
Turnip Boy is man, he's striking all the right chords.
He beats to his own drum. Yeah, for sure.
That's my kind of guy.
And, you know, he's on a mission to just take down a corrupt vegetable government, of course.
Those vegetable governments.
Can they be any other way?
So, you're driven by this, and it is, like, pretty story-based, I would say. It is fairly short. I think I completed it in maybe around 3 hours or so. And I think if you're really good at video games, you'll probably do it faster than that. But it was super enjoyable. I really enjoyed the cheeky dialogue, It was made by 5 developers, it looks like, released in 2020. So I'm actually really surprised I haven't heard about it until now. But it is on Xbox Games Pass, which is where I found it. So if you're already subscribed to that, it's pretty easy to download and check out. It's also available just about everywhere, including mobile. So, yeah, if you're interested.
What's the gameplay like?
Oh, lots of puzzles. There's lots of changes in maps, which I appreciated. There's also boss battles, which is excellent. They were super fun. Usually you're in
is it like a action game? Like you're like actively fighting them? Is it like a turn-based? How is this happening?
So
I'm trying to describe, figure out how this Turnip is, what he's doing.
You gain tools that you would find in the garden. So one of the first tools that you find is a watering can. So you can take care of some flowers. The description on the game makes it sound like you'll be doing a lot of harvesting, like farm crop stuff. It's not like that at all. You do get pruning shears that you can stab snails and worms and things with. And later on in the game, you get a shovel, which you can also stab people with. And among other abilities and things I won't spoil. But yeah, it was a really fun ride. I definitely recommend it. I don't think it's worth the full price, however. I think it's $15 on Steam. So if you don't have Xbox Games Pass, I would wait for a sale, and it has been on sale in the past, so I would definitely.
And you said there's like no replay value here.
There, I guess, is some things that you can do after the end game. I just haven't looked at them. I also ran into some bugginess at the end of the game, which was kind of a bummer. Like randomly after, like I had spawned up a bad guy, the toggle was doing opposite on my controller. So going left was right and vice versa until I killed it, and then it was fine again.
Maybe that was part of the bad guy's abilities.
He swapped your keys.
He made you dizzy. Was he the onion guy?
No.
Yeah, I'm looking at this onion guy who looks like he's straight out of Undercooked. It's like they just stole him.
Yeah, and the story is pretty cute, pretty fun.
So you'd say wait for a sale on this one?
Yes.
Most importantly, Jenna, was it funny? Did you laugh?
Yes, it was funny. And I played it on like when I was having a pretty rough day, and it got me to kind of chuckle and be in a better mood. And I feel like that is definitely a test that it's a funny game. Yeah. I'm also easily amused, so take that for what you will.
What was your favorite part about the game? What was like the number one thing that you liked?
I was actually really surprised by how kind of fun the puzzles were. And I really enjoyed the variety of the maps, even though it's a pretty small, short game. I felt like I was venturing in this whole vegetable town. Nice. And so, yeah, that was really fun.
Cool.
Okay, so now we've got a reroll on the board. Okay, everyone's up. I will be 1-2, Peterson 3-4, Jenna 5-6. Jenna, it's you again.
Jenna's back.
The dice is coming up, Jenna.
Jenna, you're back in it.
17.
What is 17?
This is that number that always kept coming up on this dice. This is Jenna has to play a fighting game. This is perfect.
Jenna, multiverses. Just play it.
Jenna can play multiverses.
Play with me.
Okay, so fighting is off the board and real-time strategy is back up.
Back on.
Okay, so we have a fighting game, and let's see how much we can spend. $60. Well, you can definitely afford multiverses.
It's free to play.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
Cool. So next week, Jenna will be playing not playing. She'll have a fighting game that she can select for us.
Yes.
And then we'll review it. Okay. That's it. That's all we got. To play us out, we've got the OST from Turnip Boy.
It's real good.
Commit Stacks Evasion. I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
And this is Jenna. See you later.
Peterson Productions. Oh yeah.